Hello. So I wanted to talk a little bit about um, Babylon and Babylon as I just finished it, and so it's that sort of thing where I realised I articulated I think fairly well. I don't know. I'm not a musician, you see, so I don't know what I'm doing half the time with this sort of stuff. But anyway, I simplified it, I suppose you could say, because I had to. Um, and it's yeah, it's the original. It's called Babylon in Babylon, um, but it's all in French, and so I tried to translate it into English, and um, it's I think it's all right. I mean, I have to go through it and listen to it again, but I've got all the songs there in the correct order. Um, of the original, and so it's. I mean, the whole album is really about Los Angeles, but it's also about really it's about Marilyn Monroe. And it was made exactly 20 years after she. 20 years? Yes, 20 years after she died. It's in 1983. She died in 1963. So yeah, it's an interesting thing. I don't know. It's as I created it, of course, on YouTube with the algorithm, things started to come up about Marilyn Monroe. So it was an interesting kind of, how it works, I guess. But it seemed quite fortuitous. But of course, it was probably quite contrived, actually, on the behalf of Google or whatever it is, Um, so yeah, I really like Le Dessous Chic, which is actually in English chic underwear, and that's one of my favorite songs actually that Gainsbourg ever wrote, and obviously my favorite. I think it's probably my favorite Birkin song actually. It's small, short, and then sharp, and it's very haunting. It has this very particular uh, melodic structure to it. Very simple, but yeah, I didn't actually copy exactly the same. I took just a string out of it, and I thought to just sort of play it like this. So it's just a very almost like a child's interpretation of sexy underwear. Um, or Le Chic. And so yeah, I did another version of it, which I turned into another song altogether. I mean, similar actually, taking from it called Kama Sutra, which is on another it's on another thing altogether. But anyway, I really like just the way in which it's very. I think the whole album, in the original, and maybe perhaps in a sense mine also, because of that, because it's from the original, is quite haunting. It's got this very haunting quality to it, and yeah, because of course it is about Marilyn Monroe. I mean, there's one song of course called Norma Jean Baker, which is Marilyn Monroe's Christian is her real name, not her stage name, and yeah, it's just a very interesting, like there's a few good little ballads on it as well, which I really find quite sweet and sentimental, like Happiness, Let's Let Go, Run Away, and uh, the other I was thinking of was well, obviously Babylon and Babylon. I mean, it's not really. I mean, it is a ballad, I suppose. Babylon and Babylon is really one of the. I mean, it brings it all, the whole album together. Hence, why you can see that they chose that as the title of the album in the end, I suppose. But yeah, it's the lyrics of Babylon and Babylon. It's very Babylon and Babylon drowning in the waves of, and then it's of cars, of fame, of Los Angeles itself. The sort of this Californian idea of the landscape. So it's really a really fucking good song actually. And if you listen to the original, it's Brahms Symphony Number 3, and so he's Gansberg has used that with electric guitars and things like this, and made it really interesting. Actually, I think it's a really interesting song. And then of course when you translate it, you get the full whack of it. The full sentimentality and the full power of the emotionality of what he's exploring. Um, and so for me, I really enjoyed making this album. I really enjoyed translating it. I'm thinking actually to translate um, Amour de Fans, Lovers of Feigning, Lovers of Feigns, which is another Birkin album. but it's very good. And I also was thinking to translate Lost Song, which is so pretty much all her albums from the 80s. Well, I mean, Amour de Fiance from actually the year of my birth, but the rest of them are from the 80s. And I really, really, I think they're really beautiful. I think they're really some of the best ones. And the X Fan of the 60s, X Fan of the 60s, I think is also another one I would probably try to translate actually. Actually, I used one of that song called Nicotine. It was one of the first songs I translated and did. You can find it in an album called a playlist called Confessions of a Air Host. That is like one of the first ones I did, and actually I really like that song. So I like Rocking Chair. I like that song, Nicotine. I like sorry, what is this horror, which is like a almost like a phone conversation between her and Serge, which I find really really cute and funny. And the Ballad of Johnny Jane, of course, is like a classic. And Mellow Mellow, I like Mellow Mellow, which is like melodrama, but it's Mellow 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 da da na 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 na. I actually rejigged that one, for example, Mellow Mellow, into a song called Roma Roma, which is on